So there's a problem with chasing dragons, I think, and it's weird because I'm kind of a champion of one and doneing a game, trying new experiences, doing new things. I'm the kind of person, I don't rewatch movies, I don't really re-listen to music, I try not to eat the same thing every day. I'm always about doing new things and making new memories, but sometimes, guys, it's really good to really sink your teeth into something because there is new stuff, that goes deeper on in the expertise of the mastery of a game. And sometimes, especially in MMOs, there's a lot of weight toward the end game and the content that forms from having to form groups and having to form social connections instead of just in passing. And that's kind of what that's basically it. That's the whole video right there is, hey guys, even if it feels a little worrisome, even if it feels a little stressful, there is something special about really sticking with an MMO and trying to see what it has in store for you at the end. Especially, I would have to say, games probably like Final Fantasy XIV and World of Warcraft, where there's some other games that are more front-loaded, maybe like Guild Wars 2. Even then, you might want to still play it for at least a week so you can get to max level, which doesn't take that long, and then you can really see like, oh man, the fractals, jump into those dungeons, dude, run those for the first time. One and Done in Guild Wars 2 is a fantastic game, but even then, a lot of you guys can't. Guild Wars 2 is designed to be beaten pretty quickly, and you guys still don't even have the patience for that. A lot of you are just jumping from game to game to game, and I think too rapidly. As someone who literally has made a career, has supported my son, and has lived a life, from the money, from mostly first impressions and just rapid fire shitting out list videos based on first impressions, based on barely playing games, I'm telling you right now that most of my audience, and frankly that's not that much, most subscribers, it's like 10% subscribers actually get my videos. Subscribe and click the bell if you want to, but people who find my videos are people who are desperately clawing at the internet, searching for a brand new MMO experience. You want the magic of discovery that you had when maybe you've played your first MMO. Obviously though, that well has run dry. And so you're looking for something new in an ocean of dirt. And, we're trying to sift through the sand and find some gems. And I often do that for you. That's what the list videos are for. Lots and lots of list videos. They do decent sometimes. And a lot of you guys appreciate what I have to say when I hype up games. But of course, I also have to be very critical, and I have to tell you that, here's some bad things about these games, and you guys are very critical too. In fact, I kind of consider this community, or people who happen to find these videos, a garden of thorns, where it's like, we can have fun, and we are trying to have fun, but I think there is a level of toxicity that might be going over a threshold, to the point of being detrimental to your enjoyment, to the genre of MMOs, of playing games in general, actually. A lot of you guys can, and frankly, I do it too. Look, guys, I've done this for so long, I can look at a trailer for a game, and I know what it's going to be like. Even saying that, though, there's still some things that I think you guys are missing out on because of your biases. Now, if you jump from game to game to game to game, you might say, well, most MMOs are the same, all their questing is the same, it's just like World of Warcraft, go kill some boars. But did you know that people actually play World of Warcraft specifically to quest? Maybe that sounds absurd, but leveling, and there's even like now hardcore and Iron Man, challenges that people do on streams that are very popular. Like 1,000 people are watching these guys on YouTube Gaming. I was just watching one yesterday of a hardcore leveler. Like, this is a whole community of people who are just leveling and questing, which a lot of you, frankly, casual MMO players would consider some of the worst content. And, I have to say, and if you know me, RuneScape has the best quests because they're very opposite and it's polarized compared to World of Warcraft, but it's also an entirely different mentality and it's an entirely different way to play the game. So yeah, I do think RuneScape's quests are the best, but at the same time, in terms of replayability and grindability, World of Warcraft has that sort of formula that kind of almost makes it feel like an action RPG. And let's talk about the action of World of Warcraft. A lot of you guys will dump on World of Warcraft for being a tab target MMO, and every other game out there is just like World of Warcraft. But no, it's not. Almost every other game, even those who are pseudo action-based, such as Elder Scrolls Online, really fall flat compared to World of Warcraft, actually. And I just have a feeling that a lot of you guys are, I'm using World of Warcraft as an example right now for reasons, but it's just, that's the game that really gets dumped on by, I think, people who kind of haven't really given it a true shot. But then again, of course, there's always personal biases and personal opinions. You like different things, and that's totally cool. But see, it just feels unfair for someone like me who can see multiple perspectives, and then for somebody to be like, this game is bad. So whenever I cover a game or whatever, I start doing a full review, like I did a full review on Black Desert Online, which is massively popular, and objectively, in certain categories, it is the best. But some people will just say, no, overall, it's bad because it's a grindy game. But some people play even for that aspect, for the fact that it is grindy. And I think a lot of you guys are just frankly a little shallow and close-minded when it comes to this. And I think it's because you're chasing dragons. You're just constantly trying out different games, and you're really just seeing just sort of surface level mechanics, and you're just kind of trying to extrapolate from that when frankly you don't know better. And that's kind of a little bit sad. And okay, maybe you do know better. Maybe you do know yourself and you know what this game will actually be like. Then fine, I guess that's fair. But even then, I do think there's something culturally educating about pushing yourself past that. It's kind of the same as like reading kind of a tougher book. Now, I'm not saying you should be a 4th grader reading Little Women or anything like that, which is what I did, and I don't remember garbage about that book. But you should push yourself a little bit, and you should try to see what everyone else sees and what everyone else does. Then again, I do totally get the argument of, well, some people don't know what's fun. Fun, I don't think is subjective. I think there are objective things that are healthy, that are educational, and things that help you master skills. And I think that really ties into our instincts, into our primal urges to play and to become masterful and to be good at things. And also as escapism. Some things are really good to escape into, but some escapes are toxic and bad, from drugs and gambling and vices and stuff like that. And there are mental hooks that video games have that are detrimental, I think, to our health and to really our true happiness. I do think there is something called fake happiness. Oh man, if this sounds really ranty, then I have a feeling that maybe you haven't tried enough games to understand what I'm saying, but there's a lot of stuff out there that is fake, that is bad, that I do want to rant about and talk about and shit on. But also at the same time, even though I myself jump from game to game to game, I can clearly see from my channel that, and just from YouTube in general, a lot of you guys hate talking about full reviews of MMOs. A lot of you guys really don't actually give the attention to the endgame prospects, hardcore PvP and raiding and stuff like that. You don't take the competitive side of MMOs very seriously. A lot of you guys, frankly, you're always talking about how you want more challenge and stuff like that, but you're kind of not willing to give those games a shot, and you're not really challenging yourself in those kind of games as well. A lot of you guys are chasing dragons for something very particular that you won't kind of get again, because when you played your first MMO, the casual content was hard for you. It was awkward for you because you were awkward. That's not going to happen again. And that's just kind of a tragedy. You're going to get it here and there, bits and pieces in certain games. And so because you are aware of that, you're chasing the dragon, which you'll never get because it's just bits and pieces. However, if you push yourself and try to master a game, despite your biases, you might find something deeper, because MMOs actually do have a lot of player expression, especially when it comes to the social interactions of endgame raiding and guilds and stuff like that, and speedrunning. And that's a good example. A lot of people say World of Warcraft is easy. And yet, there are people right now who are doing hardcore leveling, Iron Man leveling, and they're doing speedruns, and it's competitive. So it's easy, but if it's so easy, then why aren't you max level in a day? Why didn't you get max level in world record time? What can you do to be more efficient and stuff like that? And maybe you don't care about things like that. But that's the thing, guys, is you are so passionate, seemingly. You're so angry about things, but I honestly don't think you care. I don't think you care to the same level that I care. That people who, they play these games and they have these friends and these guilds and, they kind of live these lives playing these games. I don't think you actually care about those things. And honestly, a lot of these comments in these forum posters, they're always like, oh man, all this content is so force-fed. No, I don't think it actually is. I think the content is easy because it's a fucking tutorial and it's trying to get you, trying to teach you what the real game is, but you're kind of not getting it, actually. You want the game to tell you what it is. You actually want the game to force feed you. It's kind of like, an example as a non-MMO is Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is a game that fighting the monsters can be somewhat a challenge, but actually downing them is not kind of the end goal. The end goal is killing them fast and killing them over and over again and becoming very efficient. And the game, I think, does do a decent kind of job at teaching you, but some people really don't appreciate that, and they're more of a Dark Souls kind of player. Dark Souls is more of a, okay, you know, it's very obvious, this is very difficult, get over this hump, okay, here's the next puzzle, here's the next puzzle. Same thing with maybe something like Legend of Zelda, here's this problem, and the game just kind of unloads itself, you know, face value at you. But MMOs are longer winded, their tutorials are probably too elongated, and there's a lot of problems with that, I get you. And some people say, oh, you know, the end game shouldn't be the real game, the leveling should be the real game. Well, I mean, if you're aware that the leveling isn't the real game, then why is it taking you a week to level? Why are you're essentially getting stuck on the tutorial, and frankly that's shameful. And yes, I'm shaming you. I'm shaming the toxicity that's in this MMO community. I'm shaming the antisocial nature of everyone in this community, which is funny because it's MMOs. You would think it would be the opposite, but it's not. See, the people who play specific MMOs and go deeper into it, they're the social ones. They're the ones who are making friends and having adventures, and those who are just jumping from game to game to game, and all they can do is scream at the internet on forum posts and on YouTube comments. You guys are the ones who actually don't know MMOs. Just because you played a lot doesn't mean you really know. And that's going for me, because I'm someone who I've made most of my money doing first impressions. I made most of my money just jumping from game to game. And every once in a while where I go a little bit deeper, the magic of MMOs actually awakens in me. You know, when I was doing my collectathon fashion wars stuff in Guild Wars 2, I had the magic. You know, when I was trying to get max levels and grinding up in RuneScape and running through, you know, the collectathon, I guess, of getting all the quests done, of course, yeah, I had the magic of MMOs, and sometimes you do get that earlier on in the game's experience, but sometimes there is something deeper. Like with Black Desert Online, when I was starting to understand, oh, the grind, oh, the efficiency, oh, it's about this and it's about that, oh, I can do, you know, it's about the math and stuff like that. Or in Albion, when I joined a guild and, you know, we were learning the gank spots and we were learning like strats and stuff like that. Okay, which builds, what party compositions for ganking is good, which builds are best for this and that, and it's the theory crafting and it's the math, and it's, believe this, guys, believe this, please, and friends. It is the gaming, it is the gameability of the game, but that takes effort from you. So if you're just running through a theme park and you think it's just on rails, something like World of Warcraft, then I don't think you're really pushing yourself. You're not actually gaming the game. How fast can you level? How efficient can you be? Are you theory crafting? Are you collecting for your fashion? Are you trying to make a name for yourself? Did you join a guild yet? What are you actually doing? What is your purpose? Or are you just expecting the game to spoon feed you and then you yell that the game is spoon feeding you because it's so easy? No, you're not even beginning to actually game the game. You're just playing it. Or rather, you're kind of just letting the game play you. And especially more so for this genre of MMOs, that's not how you're supposed to play them. In a lot of ways, people complain about certain games, like, yeah, World of Warcraft can have some pretty on-rails quests, and it can be very easy. You can totally complain about it, valid criticisms, but just in general, vague, just completely broad stroke statements of MMOs are piss easy, there's nothing good about them, I can't wait for Ashes of Creation, I can't wait for Crowfall, you know, this game which has Ultima developers, this is going to be the next big game. No, it's not. Next big game's never going to happen, because you're the kind of player who cannot appreciate what's in front of you because you can't really appreciate what you can do as a gamer. And MMOs are all about showing off your social interaction. How do you interact with the world and the people in it? It's about you gaming it. So if you never give yourself the opportunity or the game to shine, you're just never going to feel the magic of discovery again. Because I feel like you've had your one moment of discovery, and then you as a player, you're actually not growing. You're not educating yourself, and you're kind of culturally ignorant. And that's just it. That's really what I wanted to say. I did actually wanted to make a toxic video about this community. Now, evidence for this is pretty clear. Just to end cap the video, it's going to be, hey, look at how many people are doing full reviews on MMOs. You see some, they don't get that many views, even on popular channels. You know what gets views? First impressions. You know what gets even more views, actually, more consistently? Don't even play the game. As soon as the game is announced, just fucking talk about the trailers. Look at my channel. My full reviews of BDO or World of Warcraft or anything, no, they get like no views. But I'll just talk about some random niche MMO. Yeah, fuck yeah. You'll pull some trailers. Hey, did you know this game exists? Now you do. Everyone loved that because you're just chasing dragons. But here be dragons right in front of you in all these games in all sorts of different shapes and sizes. Please give them a shot, okay? And if this community can become a little less toxic, that would be great. A little less thorny garden of thorns, because I would like to dive deeper into games. I'm starting to raid. I want to make guilds. I want to jump back into the the party club, and I want to do events with you guys. But we can't do these events. We can't do like level 1 races in World of Warcraft. We can't do 1v1 PvP tournaments in Guild Wars 2. If you guys are still frankly stuck at the starting line of even beginning to understand what it even means not just to play those games, but what it means to play MMOs. So really what it means to play MMOs is doing meta events and pushing it and challenging yourself and gaming them. And yeah, sometimes it's about RPing, and sometimes it's about just questing, and sometimes it's about immersion, but really it's a combination of all of that. MMOs are these vague things, these amoebas things, but because of that, we need to be more specific of how we play them. We have to have more agency in how we play them, and we need to be less lazy and begging for spoon feeding while at the same time criticizing it for spoon feeding us. Frankly, that's just ignorance. That's it, guys. That's my 15 minutes of rant. What do you guys think about all the things that I said? And if it seemed like I was all over the place, it's just because this is a broad topic to talk about a lot of different games. But hopefully, if you have jumped from game to game, you might have felt something in your heart. But then again, I'm not just attacking like, oh, you don't play World of Warcraft, you don't know better. That's not quite what I'm saying. That's, basically what I'm saying is there's a lot of people out there who they think they know. They think they know what it's going to be like. They think they know what it feels like, but they actually don't. They just see on paper, they just hear what other people maybe have ranted about, generally people who actually love those games, and they're just kind of being a megaphone, really, when it's probably a vocal minority in the end. So since my channel is very much small and completely hyper focuses on that vocal minority, I feel like I should be a voice of reason for those people. Hey guys, as someone who is very similar to you, please take my advice and spend a little bit more time than maybe you think you're comfortable with in these games. I think you could find something special. Make some friends, make some memories, have some fun, and hopefully you can join me. If you don't believe me, fine. Watch my streams and watch my content. Subscribe, and I will do my absolute best to show you what those experiences are like. So I'm starting up the party club again. It's going to be done a little bit differently. We're going to do lots of events. I'm going to be hosting tournaments. I'm going to be doing giveaways. I'll be making guilds. I want to play with you guys, and I really want you to have fun. That's what it's all about. The motto. Let's all say it together. Let's keep the hype alive. All right, guys. My name's Skylent. Hopefully you did subscribe, and I will see you again next time.